Like with most things on the internet, you can't always believe everything you see and hear.
This is Homebuyer Radio with home loan expert Dan Morales. Dan has been one of the nation's leading mortgage lenders since 1991, and weekly he shares with you valuable insight into the home buying process. Whether it's your first home or not, Dan will help you have a better understanding of the home buying process. Let's get started with this week's episode. Dan, what do you have for us this week?
It is Sunday, January 30, 2022. Hey, it's Dan Morales, this is Homebuyer Radio. This week what I wanted to talk about is just, the ton of information that is out there on the internet when it comes to real estate and mortgages. And there's just a ton of misinformation. And you see it more and more often now. You have these little short TikTok videos, or you have a short, Instagram reel or something like that, where somebody who purports to be an expert or, kind of presents himself as though they're knowledgeable when it comes to, let's say, real estate and or, mortgage financing. Now, the truth is, most of these people are clueless. The more I watch these videos, the more I come up with these people truly have no knowledge when it comes to either real estate and or mortgage financing, or it's a mortgage person that's talking about, real estate specific stuff that they're not knowledgeable in, or a realtor that's talking about mortgage stuff that they're not knowledgeable in. So how do you really know that somebody knows what they're doing, that they're knowledgeable, that they have expertise to be able to guide you through the process? It is very tough, right? Because, you don't really know. Sometimes people can come across as though they are very knowledgeable, or they can come across very polished and, give the appearance that they really know what they're doing, when in fact they really don't know what they're doing. So I always tell folks, you want to look at, how long has somebody been in the business? Do they have, some length of time or tenure in the business where they actually would have some relevant experience? How many transactions have they been involved in? Do they have reviews that you can easily read that are their personal reviews and they're not reviews that are, let's say, tied to their company? And when you're looking at some of these reviews, are those reviews over a long period of time? Or are they reviews where all of a sudden they had 25 reviews in one short window of time, and that's all kind of that they have? Because that's really a good indicator that they probably went to their sphere of influence and said, hey, do me a favor, go write a review for me. And then you see a bunch of reviews in a short period of time, and there's none before that period of time, and there's really not a ton after that. It gives you a good idea that this is somebody that doesn't have, maybe a track record of longevity of performing at a high level, right? But then, how do you really know that they know what they're doing? That's one of those things where, one of the challenges I face, having lent for now 31 years, which is crazy, but having lent for 31 years, a lot of times I end up dealing with clients who have started the mortgage process someplace else. They got turned down, and then they remarkably show up at our door at the last second, and we're trying to help them get across the finish line. And a lot of times I end up being the bad guy that has to explain the truth to them. And the truth is oftentimes that they don't qualify for what they want to, but oftentimes we can find a way to help them get across the finish line. But it's under, a structure or loan terms that are less favorable than what they were being told by somebody else. The only difference is I'm telling them the truth, where somebody else told them something that they wanted to hear in hopes of being able to gather or gain a client, right? So, you really want to take your time and research the person that you're doing business with. Does that person really know what they're doing? Ask questions, ask hard questions, ask them about their experience, ask them about how many transactions they've been involved in. Have they been involved in a transaction that is similar to what you're looking at doing? Is it somebody, if it's a realtor, do they have market expertise or knowledge in the area in which you're looking and the types of properties that you're looking at? And one of the best ways you can tell that is by looking at, what sales have they been involved in? Many boards of realtors provide, access to that data where you can see how many sales that person has actually been involved with, and, what market areas and so on, and whether or not it is something that, they appear to be knowledgeable in the market area you're looking, in the price point you're looking, and so on. Not every realtor is created equal, just like not every loan officer is created equal. When it comes to lenders, same thing. You can look up our NMLS number. There's a national site where you can look that information up. That will give you that somebody's work history, so you can kind of tell, how long have they been in the industry. And then, with both realtors and lenders, you want to look at reviews. Do they have legitimate reviews? And the reviews, are they stretched out for a longer period of time where, you can tell that they've had some longevity and that they have a consistency of, if you will, delivering for clients and having happy clients when it's all said and done. And then the other thing is just, how many transactions have they been involved in? Just because somebody does a ton of transactions, does that mean that they are more knowledgeable? Maybe, maybe not. You really want to dig a little bit deeper and say, okay, is this person part of a team of, 50 different lenders or 50 different agents, and all of a sudden the numbers look impressive, but they personally only sold or only did a few loans as part of the process? Or are they more of kind of a one-man team that just does a fair amount of business, which means they're actively in the trenches day in and day out? So take your time, do your research. Don't believe everything that you're seeing on the internet. I can tell you there is just so much misinformation, and there's so much misinformation from what people would think might be maybe a more credible source, and a lot of times when you get data from, let's just say, NerdWallet, or you get data from a website like Credit Karma or something like that, or even Bankrate, right? These websites, purport to provide information, but really what they are is they are lead generation websites, where basically what happens is you go in there thinking that you're going to get, let's say, multiple offers from different lenders, or you're going to get lenders to compete against each other. And we'll talk about this in a different episode, why it's really almost impossible to shop for a mortgage. Maybe we'll talk about that one next week. But what happens is, when you go to those websites and you fill out that information, you are the product, right? They're gathering your information. They're turning around and they're selling you to a number of different lenders who all of a sudden will call you like a bunch of vultures, and tell you whatever they need to tell you in hopes of being able to get you as a customer. So, really just do your homework. I know we've talked about this in previous episodes, but you really want to do your homework and make sure that you're working with knowledgeable, reputable people who know what they're doing, have relevant experience in your part of the country, and have actively been involved in a number of transactions, ideally over a number of years, where they've been able to demonstrate consistency and being able to take good care of their clients. So we'd love to help you out. If you're in the market for a mortgage, my team and I have been lending for 31 years. You can read my reviews. Go to my website, danmorales.com. There's a link to all of our reviews, both on Zillow as well as on Google. We have a history of performing consistently for the benefit of our clients, and we'd love to add you to the family of clients that we have.
Homebuyer Radio is a production of Dan Morales, home lending expert with North Point Bank, NMLS number 709729. Dan can be reached at 616-931-4629 or online at danmorales.com. Thanks for listening, and we invite your questions and show ideas at homebuyerradio.com. All loans are subject to credit approval. This is not a commitment to lend. North Point Bank is an equal housing lender. All rights reserved.